Hello, welcome to week 2 of Distance Learning Partnership Art Lessons. I have a surprise. I got our greeting jar. It just wasn't the same without it. So I'm going to pick a word for you. Exuberant. Hello, my most exuberant art students. I'm going to set this to the side and we won't pick it again. Alrighty, this is our project for today. We're going to be putting our 1-point perspective skills to use, making a cool optical illusion kind of looking piece. And let's talk about what we need. Plain white paper, ruler or straight edge, pencil and eraser, Sharpie or some kind of marker, and a few colored pencils. Crayons will also work. Markers won't work as well for this project, as you'll see a little bit later. So if you have crayons or colored pencils, great. If not, enjoy what you got. All right, let's set that aside. All righty. Now remember, we talked about in 1-point perspective, we have a vanishing point. That's where your eye goes. Everything that you're looking at goes back to that point. Today, instead of putting our vanishing point on a horizon, we're just going to make it right in the middle of our paper. And now, with your straight edge, we're going to be drawing from the vanishing point out to the edge of the paper in kind of a radial pattern. That means going around our dot. Now the measurements do not need to be precise. In fact, I think the pieces may be a little more interesting when they vary just a tad. But what you do need to make sure is that you have an odd number of wedges when we're done. So you could just draw straight across your paper. The only problem with that is if you draw straight across your paper every time you turn, you will have an even number of wedges. So you'll have to figure out how to erase one or add one. You know, I'm blocking your view with my left hand here, sorry. Whoop, I moved my ruler. Did not get a very straight edge. All right, let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, and I think if I draw one more, that will be 12. I have 12, so I want to divide this, then I'll have 13. There we go. We can math. Excellent. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alrighty, ready to go. Okay. Now, this might look tricky, but you can do it. I have great confidence in you. Let's just look at mine here. What we have are a bunch of contour lines. Contour means it goes around the shape of an object. So when we draw contour lines on, we show what the shape of that object is because our paper obviously is just flat. So in drawing these sort of rainbow-shaped lines, we are giving this wedge a round appearance. And as you can see, every other wedge is going to have the rainbow lines going the opposite direction. So in the first one, they are arcing away from me. And as you look to either side of this one, they arc toward me. So we're going to do that on our paper all the way around. Now, if you'd like to just use your marker for this and skip the pencil, that's a-okay. Starting with one wedge, any wedge, you're going to start making your little rainbow shapes. Now, I recommend not doing too many in a wedge because you will possibly wear yourself out trying to color them all in. So we're just going to do a few, 5-ish or so. I think I have 5 segments now. Okay. When you go to the next wedge, either side of this, and you are going to turn your little rainbow shape around, you want to think about maybe not quite lining those lines up. Just offset them a little bit. And this will show that there is something between these two that we're not seeing. Now, in my mind, this looks like a piece of ripply folded cloth, like maybe a parachute that's fallen down and collapsed onto the ground after the ride is over. So as you see, where the lines don't quite meet, it gives you the illusion that the fabric is folded in and you can't see that whole fold. So we'll go ahead and add all the rest of our contour lines going all the way around. Now here I have a longer wedge, so I'll go ahead and add another segment or 2 there. All right, now for the sake of your time, I'm going to stop there and show you what it looks like when you add that marker line. If you're a little concerned about how your lines are going to come out, go ahead and put your straight edge back up there and mark along your straight edge. This one wasn't straight to begin with. That's okay. A Crayola marker works just fine for this too. You don't have to have a Sharpie. All right, let's just do this corner for now. Let's talk about our coloring. Let's glance at this one more time. Does it have kind of a 3D look to you aside from the contour lines? If that's coming across the way I hope it does, that's because of the way that I've colored it. Let's look at this blue segment right here. You'll see that it's lighter in the middle and darker on the edges. That's because these sides, we're giving the illusion that they're not catching as much light because they're bending away from the light source. So here's how we achieve that. If you can color really lightly, I kind of randomly picked this middle segment. You might want to start in the center and work your way out. As we fill this in lightly, that gives us the opportunity to come back to the edges and get as dark as we can right up against the black line. And then as you move toward the center of the segment, you're going to lighten your pressure on your paper until you're all the way back to the lightness you had here, kind of fading off to no pressure at all. Coming back on this side, you can do the same thing. Lighten as you get to the middle. And on your small segments, you're going to have to lighten pretty quickly. You're going to run out of space. There you go. And if you need just a little bit extra shine, you can hit that center with your eraser. Now, I'd recommend choosing a pattern and making it the same all the way out. So greens, maybe, then maybe greens in the middle. I chose orange and purple. Remember, you're coloring really lightly. Now, I only chose 4 colors, so I have 5 segments. I'm going back to the beginning of my pattern now with the green. Now, once you have that one wedge established, then you can follow your pattern for these others, because remember, we're going to have different numbers of wedges based on how long our wedges are. So then we can know over here, we would like green here on the first one, orange on the second one. Some of them aren't going to line up quite nicely, but you'll know which color it should be because you can count your pattern all the way back. Okay. Now the really fun thing is once you add your dark to light segments on the sides, that whole wedge begins to look cylindrical, have a round shape. Now in the tiny, tiny tip, we're just going to put a little bit of a dark shadow on both sides. Let's not forget our last piece here. Alrighty, there we have one of our wedges. I think I will just hit the center with the eraser a little bit. Ta-da! All right, guys, I can't wait to see what you come up with. Please do share your photos when you're done. I'd love to see your work, and happy drawing!